Sura is calling from India, pronouns are him, and says that advanced alien life is godlike. Hey, Sura, how are you? You're on with Eric and Matt.
Fine. No, I may actually consider advanced alien life to be a godlike personality.
I'm not aware of
Maybe
any. I'm not aware of any alien life, advanced alien life. I have no idea what it's like. How do you know that it exists, and how do you know what it's like?
because there are so many exoplanets that are 10 times older than Earth. So it is natural that advanced life form will form, and they have so much control on science and technology.
How do you? So I have tons of questions. I don't want to just steamroll all over this, but let's say that there's 10 planets that are older than Earth. How do you know that life ever formed on any of those planets?
Because in the Goldilocks zone, naturally life will form.
That's not necessarily true. It's entirely possible to be in the Goldilocks zone and not necessarily form life, but let's assume that life formed and it was advanced. How do you know that it didn't take itself out? How do you know that it wasn't destroyed by something? How do you know that we're not the only advanced intelligent life forms in the galaxy right now, or in the universe?
No, because the universe is even our own Milky Way is very very vast. So the probability is very high. The probability is very certain. If Earth existed within the Milky Way, there are so many planets with this probability that alien life will form. The probability is very high.
You're not answering my question. So are you familiar with the Drake equation?
I don't know that.
Okay. The Drake equation is an attempt to approximate via calculation exactly the sort of thing you're talking about. And the Drake equation starts with it tries to calculate the number of civilizations in, let's say, the Milky Way galaxy. And so what it takes into consideration is the average rate of star formation, the fraction of stars that have planets, the average number of planets that could potentially support life, the fraction of planets that could support life that actually develops, the fraction of planets with life that will develop into intelligent life, and then the fraction of civilizations that develop a technology that releases detectable signs of their existence, nothing at all about whether or not they're more advanced. And then that's all together with the length of time it takes for a civilization to be detected. So there could be advanced civilizations out there that we just haven't been able to detect yet. There might also not be advanced civilizations out there because maybe they blow themselves up with nuclear weapons. Maybe they are on a planet where the climate change stuff takes them out or whatever else. But you're saying there is advanced technology out there that is godlike. And I don't know how you can say that or what godlike technology would be. Like, what can they do and how do you know what they can do?
No, Pentagon has released that so many spacecraft flying at the speed of light are very fast.
When have we ever detected any spacecraft traveling at the speed of light?
Pentagon has released a video and admitted that a spacecraft was flying at a very high speed.
But not at
That
the
is
speed of
actually
light.
impossible.
Who released a video?
Yeah.
Pentagon.
The Pentagon released a video of something traveling at high speed.
Yes.
Okay, what's
It is
that
actually they said in news itself. They said in news in the global news channel that a spacecraft was flying at a very high speed, and it was interfering with the military people of American military exercises.
So we have lots of videos of UFOs, not alien UFOs, just truly unidentified flying objects messing with lots of other aircraft, distracting pilots. People from the ground can take videos of these things. How do you determine that any of these UFOs are aliens?
Because they were having some kind of purpose to interfere with the nuclear test.
How did you eliminate possibility that it's man-made UFOs? Maybe experimental spacecraft or things like that?
Because such a
Or aircraft,
phenomenon is not been invented by humans. Such a
how do
magical,
you know this?
such a sophisticated technology has not been invented by humans.
So
they
Sura, do you think that maybe the U.S. government might have certain inventions, vehicles that the public doesn't know anything about, like top secret stuff? Possibly. I'm not saying they do, but do you think like there's a possibility there, right? You can have stuff that the public know nothing about.
If US had this, they could have ruled the world right now.
I'm not asserting this. Well, the U.S. already rules the world in a certain sense.
There wouldn't be any China or Russia. Only US would have been the leader of the.
So, Sura, you're making huge logical leaps here that we just simply can't accept.
Yeah.
So, going back to what you said earlier. Sorry, Matt. Go ahead.
No. Go ahead, because I was going to go back to the same thing. I think you are.
Yeah, Sura, what you said earlier was that there's high probability that there are intelligent, advanced alien life in the galaxy, in the universe. Matt mentioned the Drake equation earlier, and I was going to bring that up too. But when you're talking about probabilities are calculated by taking a sample set of things, looking at some type of event that you want to see, and then you look at the sample set, how many times that event occurs, and then you can calculate probabilities. Let's just say whatever numbers you plug into the Drake equation, let's say it comes out to 10 million potentially habitable planets in our galaxy. How many examples of life do we have on these 10 million planets? 1. So the only probability you can possibly calculate at this point is that 1 out of 10 million planets has life on it. Until we calculate or until we discover other alien life on other planets and then somehow determine that they're intelligent, which there's ways, but once you determine that for a few more, now you can start actually really talking about real probabilities. Because right now we have not enough data, incomplete assessments about these things to even get close to talking about probabilities. You're making a huge logical leap saying to yourself that, well, we have this many planets in the galaxy that are probably habitable. We have one, us, that we can look at. Therefore, logical jump to some number. We simply can't do that. We don't have the justification for it yet.
No. So Drake equation show that only Earth is possible. I don't know about Drake equation. So they ruled out that all the other exoplanets in the Goldilocks zone are
that's part of the Drake
feasible.
equation. So Sura, the Drake equation, you should look it up. It's an interesting read, but part of the equation does factor in planets in the Goldilocks habitable zone of a star. You should look it up. And I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying you can't use this to formulate any type of argument about alien life yet, because even if intelligent alien life does exist, we can make no assessments about their level of technology, no assessments about their objectives or their desires or their goals, or whether or not they even arrived here on Earth to mess with our airline pilots and our military pilots. These are all huge logical leaps that you're making that you can't justify.
Okay, does the Drake equation has been certified by other scientists? I don't know about that.
It is a well-known equation. It is a well-known equation by taking a look at all the factors we see that took to create life on this planet. And I use create very loosely, for life to develop on this planet. Number of planets the number of types of stars in our galaxy that fit our sun or a similar star that would possibly support us if we were orbiting that star, habitable zones, number of planets around stars, other factors. You can look it all up. All the variables are listed out in the wiki on it, and you can see what each variable calculates. You can plug in the numbers yourself and dial them around and see what happens with the end result. This is all pretty well known. It's been around for quite a while.
There has been no criticism to that. I don't know because my internet is very slow, so
there's
I can't.
criticism. There's criticism just about anything in science. You should go read it up on your own. And if anything, the Drake equation is evidence in support of your idea that there's alien life out there, but it's not enough. You're going to need more than that in order to make that jump to the conclusion that aliens exist.
So what about what will U.S. department get if they cook up some stories, or they just they want to make some?
I can only speculate,
So
but I mean, I can only speculate, confusing the public, giving them something to think about, and diverting their attention away from other things they want to hide. Who knows?
Yeah, the big key here, sir, is that so on some level you have this partially correct in that we have things like the Drake equation, which are attempts to figure out roughly how likely is it that an advanced civilization, even to just the state of being detectable, like producing signals that could be detected. That's what the Drake equation is going for. It doesn't tell you how advanced they are. And you cannot say, oh, because it's incredibly likely that there's life elsewhere. And if there is life elsewhere, it might have gotten to a point where there's some technology, that therefore there's necessarily advanced technology. And then further, that advanced technology has visited Earth. There is insufficient evidence to conclude any of that. So you're beginning with, well, it just seems unlikely we're alone. And then you're compounding a whole bunch of assumptions to get to not only are we not alone, but there's advanced technology that has visited Earth. You don't have the evidence to reach that conclusion.
No, but the videos, U.S. government is really selling that they are divert the attention of people. What they will get? Whether they will get any money or whatever. What is their intention?
It's
What is
probably
whose
just
intention with what?
I think he's asking,
The
what does the
US
U.S. government have? Sura, the U.S. government gets out of its programs probably, I don't know, technological superiority, secret weapons, just general dominance as a nation. Like, these are all very plausible things because we see other nations do this.
But they said they themselves are scared because of that.
No. Okay.
Yeah.
Sura, I don't know what information you're getting, but the information you're getting is garbage. The U.S. government is not releasing information about aliens and saying they're scared or we're scared of it. That's just not happening. What's happening is there are people who believe in aliens who are spreading misinformation, and we have insufficient evidence. But this is also something, Sura, that doesn't matter at all. You have no way of demonstrating that there's advanced technology. You've just bought into something and run with it, and it still doesn't get you to God. So
Okay.
I think we're going to have to move. I think we're going to have to move
Yeah.
on. I think we're going to have to move
Okay,
on.
just one question. One question. What about Phoenix, Arizona, where many people have seen Phoenix, Arizona UFO thing?
There,
Where it was a
holy shit, Sarah. Now you're going to ask me to debunk a vague claim that there's a bunch of people in an area who claim to have seen something. I don't fucking care. There's a bunch of people who claim to see things and experience things regularly that are not true, and that isn't enough information. So you don't get to say, yeah, but people in Phoenix think they saw it. Okay. So what? That's not sufficient evidence to conclude that anything you've said is remotely correct.
you mean they have seen something else? You're saying that they have seen some
I don't know
aeroplane.
what they've seen. I don't know what they've seen because I haven't spoken to them and I haven't investigated it. You know why? Because it's not worth my time to speak to them and investigate it. Because if in fact what they were saying was real and reliable, somebody would have already investigated and come up with more evidence than merely saying, hey, there's some people in Phoenix who think they saw something. Cool. All right. Thanks, Sarah.
Yeah.
Okay.
That topic is something that really does fascinate me because, like, I do have an emotional desire for there to be aliens discovered, especially intelligent alien life. Like, I want to see that happen, but I'm not letting my emotional desires get in the way of a robust epistemology in order to get to that conclusion. I don't want my emotions to cloud my judgments about those things. So yeah, Sura, I want there to be alien life. I want them to have visited us. I want these things to be true, but I don't have evidence that they actually are. At least nothing that can indicate more likely than not that it's true. And if you are interested in these things, you say you didn't know about the Drake equation. You can look up certain, well, there's plenty of wiki articles, but certain YouTube channels that I really like about this type of topic. John Michael Godier, Isaac Arthur, PBS Space Time. There's stuff on the James Webb Space Telescope because that's geared to detect certain traces of both artificial and non-artificial life. I'm sorry, not artificial life. I'm sorry, intelligent and non-intelligent life. Like we have the tools and we're performing these searches, and it's fascinating stuff. The Drake equation, Fermi's paradox, things about the Great Filter, like fascinating stuff. By all means, look into it, like read up on it, but curb your enthusiasm to jump those gaps to go to conclusions that you want to see, because it's just like the Drake equation. There's actually quite a parallel here. The Drake equation, it lines up a bunch of variables and multiplies them together. The probability of a planet being around a star the probability of the star being the right type of star, the probability that a planet is in that Goldilocks zone. You're multiplying these probabilities, these percentages together. And the more percentages, as long as they're below 100, the more you multiply together, the smaller and smaller your result becomes. So that's how the Drake equation works. Sura, you're taking all these logical leaps that have like these small percentages of actually being true, that intelligent aliens actually exist, intelligent aliens actually visit the planet, intelligent aliens this and that and this and that. And you don't realize how small the probability, the percentage value is of that actually being true at the end there, is because you're multiplying all these low percentages together. It's just basic math. Same thing that's happening in the Drake equation. The reason the Drake equation is impressive is because we have so many stars that number is still fairly large, even though, relatively speaking, it's small compared to the number of stars we have. Anyway, I love that kind of stuff. I could talk about it for hours. But yeah, go check it out. Read up on it and curb your enthusiasm a little bit.
It's a strange thing because, I can see where somebody's like, hey, and I'm in agreement. The universe is a really big place. And to kind of paraphrase Carl Sagan, it would be really surprising to find that we were the only intelligent life that had ever evolved. But there's other issues, which is maybe we're the first, maybe we're the only, maybe others came before us and died out. Maybe others, life evolved many, many times, but for whatever reason, they didn't reach, a technological stage to reach out. The big thing is we don't know, and we can keep exploring. But the problem in part is that the vast distances in space and the fact that it appears that faster than light travel isn't possible suggest that it's incredibly unlikely that we've been visited, not the least of which is we're an unremarkable planet in an unremarkable solar system in an unremarkable area of our galaxy, which is unremarkable amongst the billions and billions and billions of galaxies that are out there. And so you're kind of like multiplying likelihoods. And as Eric was saying, it's just going to keep getting smaller and smaller. But it would be cool. And the nice thing is if there was an advanced technology or a technologically advanced alien race out there that had visited Earth, it would be cool if in fact there was good evidence for it. But instead, what we have are, I saw a weird light, or this appears to not be right, or I was abducted and they looked like this, and then somebody else said they were abducted. And it's weird to look at the descriptions of aliens that once upon a time looked very much like robots and stuff out of science fiction. And then after Close Encounters of the Third Kind, all of a sudden, almond eyes, big gray-headed aliens become the ones that are more commonly claimed. So as soon as something enters pop culture, all of a sudden it becomes the one that people are seeing. People aren't seeing hairy Yeti aliens stepping off of a ship, and they're not seeing, spacemen in suits and, like we're in Back to the Future and playing Van Halen for somebody.
Yeah. It's amazing how our culture can prime us to see things that align with those things in culture. Like you mentioned, Close Encounters of the Third Kind. All of a sudden, when an idea has been put into the public consciousness, you start seeing those things.
Cool.
Yeah, not good evidence though.
Hello, everyone. I'm Jimmy Snow. I'm the executive producer of The Line. And at night, I sneak into Matt Dillahunty's house and I trade his cereals for other cereals. He comes out and he's like, wait, these are cereals I buy, but I swear I had different cereals. Anyway, would you like to support this channel or any specific show? You can do so over on Patreon or in channel memberships. There are special tiers for special shows or for the channel at large, and it helps us expand programming as well as hopefully very soon launch it in podcast form. Now, also, if you'd like to support, you can like, you can subscribe, you can leave a comment or a super thanks, which is a special highlighted comment that you pay for. Those are fun. And, screw the algorithm, go check out something over here, I suppose. Boy, I hope I can still put those icons there, because if I can't, this is going to look really stupid. I'm going to go buy some Cocoa Puffs and switch out Matt's mini wheats now.